Okay.
Hi guys.
Hey.
Hi. Welcome back after the break. What did we talk about before the break?
No idea.
No idea? That's honest, okay? That's the subconscious talking, because it's very fast, you know, without much deliberation, but it's very efficient. I agree.
Shadows.
Anyone else? Sorry?
Shadows.
Shadows. Wow, cool. Yeah. All right. So that's the next level, right? That was the somatic response. This one was okay, brief information processing, but no deep deliberation. Okay, looking into shadows themselves. Is there anything that you guys recall that we talked about? Like topical, other than the word, you know.
Hacks.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Hacks upon hacks.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah. So what's the idea about creating shadows all about? Well, in general, what is graphics all about? If you want to generalize it.
Approximating the real world, not actually computing it in real time, but just approximating. So.
That's right. Right. So you want to have the you want to resemble or approximate the aesthetics that it produces upon observation without having a physical replication of the real world, right? So in some sort of visual way. Cool. Yes. So in shadows we talked about a few different techniques. Do you guys recall them? Or some of them? We talked about two, in fact. So the rest was very sketchy.
I remember the metric one.
Oh yeah, cool. So number 3 then.
And the one where you use the depth of the light source.
Yeah. What was that all about?
Projecting, I think.
Yeah.
Sort of, but
the depth of the light source. How does the whole idea work? What was it called? The concept, and what's the idea behind it? Anyone? It's an open question. So we're digging further into the deliberation area right now. So okay. Anyone wants to contribute? Floor's yours. Including you two guys. Good. What was it called first? The depth thing.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Shadow mapping?
Shadow mapping, right. So how does it work?
You render the scene from the view of the light.
Yeah.
Then you project the surface position
Yeah.
of the object that should have a shadow into the coordinate system of the light, and then you compare the depth and the depth buffer.
Right. Okay. So does everyone get this? Yeah. So you model the depth from the perspective of the light of the corresponding object, and then you apply to the scene and determine whether something is in front or in the back of the light. That's basically the whole functionality. So it's all about projections, as you said, right? So that was the shadow mapping approach, right? And that's probably the most commonly low threshold approach for doing some sort of shadowing. Any objections from the right here?
That's the easiest at least.
Yes, isn't there one that's a bit easier even?
Additive.
That's the volume, shadow volumes, right?
Where you
additive.
You compound
Yeah.
the shadows if it passes through several objects.
Right.
Like +1, +2, +3 thing.
Right. Yes, that's right. That was. Oh wow, you're good. So that was the shadow volumes idea, right? So that you can actually have a more, without bringing it up right now, a more differentiated, more nuanced shadows, right? So we have deep, really, really dark shadows and soft shadows and so on to deal with those kind of problems. Whereas the shadow mapping itself actually doesn't really, has relatively harsh shadows, or has harsh shadows and boundaries it produces, right? So, or are there any sub-technique or additional techniques that alleviate this issue? No? So so that's basically the idea. You have very hard shadows, but it's the baseline of doing some sort of shadow mapping. Then there was the idea, okay, now what happens if we have multiple obscuring objects, right, from the light source to you know, the object of interest, How can we make it more nuanced? And the idea is there, well, you know, we just count the number of obscure objects that obscure a particular object of interest, right? So, and then using this to determine the actual effective shadow that's involved. So this was the idea of shadow volume. Shadow mapping was the harsh one, the simple one where we have two projections. And there was a third one, the easiest one, I think.
Planar shadow?
Sorry?
Planar shadow?
Planar shadow, yeah, that's right. Yes, so, yes. What was the idea there behind? Do you remember?
Basically, you have a line from the light source and to the object, and then you extend it to the plane and just draw the shadow there.
Exactly, right? So that's the cheapest one, I guess. So you just extend the angle from the object to the light source to the plane, and then draw the object without any height, right? So basically you can redraw the entire object. What's the problem with this?
Well, you have to have a plane.
Yes, that's right.
And it probably only works on simple shapes, I think. Relatively simple shapes.
Yes, yes, that's another point. I'm just wondering, I agree with your assessment. I'm wondering if there's any limits. Yeah, probably is. So yeah. So, but the plane is the key thing. You need to have some sort of plane representation to map the actual shadow object on there. So that's the three concepts that we briefly talked about. Really scratched up on. And of course, you want to explore some yourself. And thus, Ahmed made a lab that explores particularly the idea of shadow mapping, and it follows up on the lab that he did before on the Phong reflection model that was modeling the nanosuit. There you go. Yes, good, good. Usually I get corrections within the first 5 seconds after mentioning it, so I assume I got it right then. So the nanosuit and the sphere and so on, and it uses the very same scene but varies in terms of objects, and the idea is basically to have a simple working implementation of the shadow mapping concept, and that's something you are exploring in that particular lab. So if you plan to use shadows in your actual assignment too, then this is a good lab to borrow from, or at least be inspired from. So if you want to use that. Any other comments I should?
So
make?
maybe in terms of implementation, the difference is when you do shadow mapping. So you need to use the frame buffer. So you need to project the scene from light perspective and save it on the frame buffer. And that frame buffer can be used as texture. So there is nothing new about shadow mapping. Maybe, so this is a shader part, but in the main code, so there are two passes in which in the first pass you render it from light source perspective. In the second pass you just render it as usual. So for example, in the first pass you create your frame buffer, you convert it into texture. Then on the second pass, you sample that texture and you render it. So it's not that. I think it's just to give you the idea of shadow mapping.
But it's comprehensively explored here in the instructions, right? Our necessary code, even though in the lab itself, obviously, it's a bit obscured because of the complexity of the project and the other dependencies. But yeah, that's the key idea.
So in short term, shadow mapping is just modifying the texture on a certain object on a pass before you actually render it?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because it's a texture.
Yep. Cool. Well, feel free to explore. We'll be available, of course. So projects. Let's talk about the assignments. How's things going there? Before I let you loose. Okay. What's that? Either a sign of excitement or admission of defeat. So what is it?
For us or that?
Oh, for yours as well. Okay.
Oh, yeah, for them.
So please.
For everyone.
Please, but what's the insight? So how's the?
So you're asking my group.
Well, you're showing the most enthusiasm.
You're asking
so
me personally.
well, you ask you personally.
I'm confused by the.
As a representative of your group. So no, if you so how project's going? Good, bad, thumbs up, thumbs down, kind of thing.
Not started.
Priorities, or what's the issue?
Priorities.
Okay,
Yes.
priorities, okay. School priorities or life priorities?
Both?
Nah,
Yes.
going too far. Going too far. Any other showstoppers for other people?
It's a very interesting project.
Yeah?
Exciting.
Okay, so you made
Looking
some...
forward to.
We've made preparations also, but we haven't really done anything to.
So did you make the specification already, or how did you go about this?
That's sort of.
We have discussed a lot of high level concepts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you seem happy, so that's...
And we have the repo.
Oh, you have
With code.
Yeah,
With some code.
yes, I saw
Which
that.
may or may not run.
I saw that discussion, so that was good. Well, the rule is as long as it compiles, it's probably okay. Well, that's the first step.
It plays somewhat.
So, okay, and you guys, are you doing Pac-Man 2, right? 3D, right? Oh, you have something going already.
Can you show it on the screen?
Vibration research.
Yeah, no. That's an interesting phenomenon. How did you produce it?
Collision detection.
Why do you use collision detection?
So we don't go through the walls.
So why do you use collision for that?
Okay, I'm not sure if we should show that. I wouldn't, so I'm not 100% convinced. But okay, if there's no further comments, surprises.
But I'm not sure if it's relevant for the subject, because my issue is that I have problems exporting from Blender when I'm using like I can't export to a format that seems to understand texture and I think it's just a texture, because it doesn't get in texture coordinates, and it doesn't get in like the tangent and bit angle, bit angle.
Yeah. Did you check the options or try to play with the options, the export options for Blender? Because you can
I haven't seen the export options out of Blender.
you can activate a lot of things like export normals or
Have you tried using a funnel?
Like if I try to export just
Have you tried turning it off and on?
That's right. That's right. So we're smoothing for one. Normals.
Så jag kan prøve å liksom brenne litt kjedelig å sitte der og definere formal by hand.
Ja,
Oh,
ja,
Jesus.
altså da
Vertex, sjekk for den vertexen, for hvilken indeks den her til å begynne liksom.
Ja, 30
vi må ha
er fine.
vi må ha en plugin. En plugin.
In library?
Jeg tror faktisk det er raskere å skrive
Plugin til
plugin. Det er raskere å skrive plugin til det som skriver ut Word til siden.
Nå har du kan skripte seg til det som
By hand.
Du kan skripte seg til det som
Men på et eller annet tidspunkt
Sure.
Ja. Nei, men du kan bygge modeller, så for eksempel du har et Crawl Space Program. Du skal ha en 3D-modell av en vessel fra Crawl Space Program. Så består den av liksom 100 sorte litt små modeller. Så du kan bare lage et skritt som importerer de modellene vesselet bruker, spåner som man trenger, og plasserer de i den liksom
bare forstå den interne Blender sin interpretation. Du skal ha i vesselet.
Det er sweet.
Det er den enkleste. Ja, vi kan lage det til det som importerer det i Blender, så eksporterer det ut fra eksport. Vi trenger version av resten. Det er den største delen av jobben. Og så kan
Ser du den FPS-en?
Tangentene.
Hva er det du sa? Full skjerm. Vi har fiksa det. Det er full skjerm utenfor 44 FPS.
We fixed it. We didn't actually do anything, but we fixed it. Prøv å se når du går
Så
ut.
casen her, så setter du normalen opp der, ikke sant? Og så har du normalen, som er også av en sånn.
Ja, ok,
Aliasing.
Ja, men
No, it's a feature.
Is it working?
That's actually fast. Over 60 FPS.
Hvor lang tid brukte dere på det der?
Ikke?
Hvis du får quotation av hvis du gjør det på
Men vi gjetter at dere ikke begynt å skrive på 4 timer.
Vi har ikke begynt ennå. Vi har ikke planlagt 4 timer.
Det er litt mer jobb enn 4 timer.
Ja, men så sa jo dere at litt mer enn 2 dagers jobb. For å få vi gjorde på 2 dager.
Hvordan sorterer dere køpene i jobb? Det er faktisk
Og kunne ha satt gangen. Åh, det er morsomt.
Hey, we can do some defense sounds.
Ja, for det jeg satt og så litt på det og tenkte at egentlig
Skal du lime kamera til
egentlig så vi har det. GNSL ganske sånn bare bones.
Kan det følge?
Vi kan ikke diskutere.
Ja, men du mener limer det på?
Ja, det har jeg begynt å skjønne. For den har jo det at du kan sette GNSL. Du kan begynne å sette opp liksom jeg har lyst til å switche over til å ikke bruke den men den annen funksjon. Det er shader på en måte.
Da kan jeg si ganske masse ting inn i shader. Som du ellers måtte bruke en egen konfliktiv. Vi trenger ikke å bare bake alt inn i. Men da kan du bruke alle shaderne og vite at du ikke er det selv.
Nei, jeg prøver å gjøre andre og ta jobbkaffe i kraftskall.
Jeg har kalt det en dot shader, for da får jeg faktisk
Jeg vet kraftskall.
eller sort of. Nei, jeg har ikke skjønt forskjellen på begrepet shader eller bare program. Hvordan bruker det veldig mye mer over det? Ja, det samme. Ja, men det
Mathise.
This program runs this shader.
Ok, det er Mathise.
Hva betyr det?
Vi har shader core.
Dynamically
Som
generated
også kan hete shader. The shader core.
That's right. So that the entry
Men kan man upload? Ok.
Da spiller jeg
Men hva er da samlet igjen?
Good luck with that shit.
Ja, det er sånn, ok. Problemet er at jeg ikke vet hva jeg skal kalle en kode.
Det er sammen med objects. Collection object.
Ja, da skal vi gjøre et spørsmål for oss til å
Shader pipeline.
Jo, det er verst at
Hva mener du så på oppdragsplanen? Dere har overvekter.
Ja, dette her er primitiver. Dette er ingen faktisk.
Dere loader ikke kubben. Dere bare genererer settekubben.
Vi bare genererer vertices.
Ja, ok. Nei, dere får vel skrive det hos egen.
Ja! Ikke sant, Marco?
Ja, si senor!
Si senor.
Men det er en pipeline.
Bit good.
What's up, 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 what's up?
Do you want to play hard mode Pac-Man?
Sorry?
Do you
Hard
want to
mode.
play hard mode
Look at this as hard mode.